my channel. My name is Diamond. I know. It's been years since we last spoke, okay? I know it's been a minute. I'm so sorry. Like, life has just been life, and it's taken me about 6 months since I last spoken to you guys. So I apologize, because I've gotten a few comments, a few emails asking me like, okay, so what's the update? Like, so what's been happening? And I haven't really gotten to give you that update, but I'm here today and I'm gonna let you know what's been happening, my time on Orilissa, and a few other bits. You know, usually when I start my videos, I explain my channel and the name, endometriosis and endobully, but I'm not going to go into it this video, just because I'm thinking of changing the name and I'm thinking of changing the energy around the channel, right? And incorporating a few more things to it. So for the time being, we'll leave it as it is, but just keep up to date with the change that's coming soon. So for those who don't know, my name is Diamond. Like I said, I've got stage 4 endo. See, I'm saying my YouTube name now. I've got stage 4 endometriosis, and I've just brought you guys on a journey with me along with the ride to show you what I've been going through, how I got diagnosed, what medication I'm now on, and it's been really like overwhelming, and in a good way, to hear from a few of you about your journey with endometriosis and how my videos helped in some way, shape or form, or taking the fear out of the journey for you. So it's kind of prompted me to do this now. So let's just get straight into it. Last time I left you guys, I was on Orilissa, and I had to come off of it for I think like 2 weeks because I had some stomach bacteria, and I had to go on antibiotics. So I was off of it for 2 weeks and I went back on it, and I've been on it now for 6 months. Is that right? 6 months since we last spoke. Yeah, been on it for 6 months, right? And so when I first started the Orilissa, I had 2 huge cysts on each ovary. They were about, I think, 5 centimeters, maybe 5 or 6 centimeters. And it has shrunk quite tremendously. To last time I checked, which was 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, my cysts are now at like, I think I've only got 1 cyst on 1 ovary. That's really bad. I really should double check that. But from what I know, the cyst that I do have is about 2 centimeters in size. So it has gone down a lot. I was on Orilissa 200 milligrams. And for the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks. For the last 2 weeks, I've been on 150 milligram. So they come in two dosages. The 200, like I said, which is like high up, which is what I needed, and the 151, which is a little bit lower. So my doctor switched me halfway. Also, because Orilissa, taking it for such a high dose for such a long period of time, really does a lot of damage to your body, your liver, you know, your kidneys, all of that great stuff, right? So it's important to monitor how long you're on it and what dosage you're taking. So my experience with it, I couldn't give you guys too much of my experience because I had just started it and I didn't want to like give you false information, but I can give you an educated summary of my experience. And I don't want to say it hasn't been that bad, because it makes it sound flimsy, like, you know, it's not that bad. But I will say that it wasn't as daunting as I was expecting it to be. And what I will say, I have been in New York for 2.5 years now, and the first 6 months it took me time to get diagnosed, And from the 6th month until today, I've only been out of menopause for 3 months. So from June 2019 until next month is June, so let's just say June 2021, 2 years, my body has been in menopause. I only had a 3-month break in that period. So I say that to say my body could be kind of used to it. So the effects could be different for me than it could be for you. But in terms of the comparison for Orilissa and Lupron was so much more prominent in my life, right? It was a lot. Lupron, I felt every single symptom all the time. Orilissa, I did get it in the beginning. I got some hot flushes. I got some mood swings, little like nothing as bad as the Lupron. Those mood swings were mad. Those mood swings were like a completely different person. But Orilissa, it wasn't as intense. My biggest demon, and I'm still battling it today, the biggest demon I've had on Orilissa is headaches. That, I would say, they are awful. Like, when I tell you, if I get a headache, 9 times out of 10, it puts me to my bed. Like, I'm lucky on that 1 time out of 10 where I can still function and still carry on and still move and still do what I need to do. But 9 times out of 10, oi. Like, it puts me to sleep. I mean, ice packs, forehead, this thing called forehead what you rub across your I've tried it all. Like, I was on the brink of going to the hospital, my last one, because I thought that there was a tumor in my brain. Honestly, I thought that my head must be about to explode any minute now. But I had an MRI on my brain a couple weeks prior. Whole different story. So I knew there was nothing wrong with my brain, but that's how bad it was for me. So that's my biggest demon on this pill, the headaches. Outside of the headaches, like I said, either my body could be used to being in menopause by now, or it just wasn't as daunting or as intense as my experience on the Lupron. By miles. I would get the nausea here and there, but again, nothing like Lupron. I can't tell you the last time I had a hot flush. It's been a minute. I get hot, more than the average person would, but it's just something I'm used to by now. So I don't even class it as a flush. But them intense flushes, I haven't had one of those in a while. So I still battle with the headaches, even under 150 milligram. The 200, they were more frequent on the 200, I would say. I don't get them as often on the 150 milligram. Excuse me. So I guess there's a difference there, but in terms of the intensity, it's still the same. It's still very bad. But I've had a few people reach out to me and say, you know what, I've watched so many videos that it just scared me, and your videos helped and stuff, and I'm grateful. But I don't want, if someone doesn't come across this video, for example, well, that doesn't make sense because you wouldn't hear what I have to say. But I don't want that to be the perception out there. I don't want people to take on other people's experiences as gospel, because everybody's body is different. Your body is different. Like, what I would find, and everyone's pain threshold is different too. So what could be very distressful to me could be a walk in the park for you. Do you know what I mean? And vice versa. So I hope that you don't take on other people's experience as gospel. It could be a nice like blueprint so you have an idea, but it could be a breeze for you. It could be manageable for you. It doesn't have to be so daunting, because it's horrible when you're about to go into something and you're terrified. You know, it's just gonna make it 10 times worse. And I wish I had known that before going in. So that's my experience with Orilissa. 6 months in, I don't have any pain. Also, like all my pain has been subsided. All my endo pain, let's just say, 'cause Lord knows I get pain other places, but the endo pain has subsided. Thank God I don't have any endo pain. I used to get really bad pains in my left side, and I haven't had that in a while, which leads me nicely into this next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I recently found out that one of my tubes is no longer functional, and I haven't gotten to the bottom as to why it's no longer functional, but I do know the medical term, and it's called Hydrosalpinx. Sorry, I had to write it down. Hydrosalpinx. And what that basically, so to break the words apart, hydro, as you know, is waterly like fluid, right? And salpinx is your tube. So is when your tube is inflamed with a watery like, why can't I say that word properly? Watery like fluid, right? Just fluid. Let's just stick with fluid. When your tube is inflamed with fluid, and it could be, well, it is an infection, not could be, it's an infection. And they say to you, you can get it a few ways. You know, one could be untreated STI. Another one could be an untreated BV, which is bacterial vaginosis. And then the other is endo, which endo will be less fluidy and more blood. It's still fluid, but it's blood, really. It's not like watery, it's blood. And the term for that is hematosalpinx. So anything you hear with hemato is blood. And I'm telling you guys this because I came to New York and I had an MRI. First thing, had an MRI before I was even diagnosed, to see what's going on with that area. And I recently was treated for hydrosalpinx off of an MRI result that I took last summer. Okay, that was a different doctor. I had a male doctor, and now I've got a female doctor, and she's seen my MRI results from last year summer, and it says that I've got hydrosalpinx, which matched up with my sonogram that I had with her. And she's like, yep, I don't know why this wasn't seen, but we need to treat this. After some digging, go back to her 3 months later, I took antibiotics. I cannot remember the name of antibiotics, but I will do, and I will put it in the info. But I took my antibiotics. 3 months later, found out that there's nothing that can be done. Your tube is still inflamed. The antibiotics didn't help it, which shows that it's a chronic infection that we're dealing with, quote unquote, because you still don't know if it's an infection, if it's the fluid or it's blood. And yeah, the tube is no longer functional. And I done my own research now, because now I had the medical term. I done my own research, and I looked back at my results from my MRI in 2019 when I first came here, and it showed up on my MRI that, you know, my right tube has hydrosalpinx, and is inflamed to 0.8 centimeters. Now, obviously, I did it. I could look at my MRI and not have a clue what that means because I didn't go to medical school. I don't know anything about medicine. It's not my forte. I'm a creative. I'm not a medical expert, right? But that told me that I had an inflamed tube from the time I left London, and God knows how long that was, how long I've had it since then. And I came here and it wasn't dealt with. And now the tube is no longer functional. So I say that to say, if you have recently taken an MRI and they are focusing on your ovaries, or if you've had cysts on your ovaries like me, I guess that was more important for me. Look on it and see if it has that term Hydrosalpinx, because if it does, then that means you've got an inflamed tube, and it'd be my advice for you to bring that up with your doctor. Make it a priority as much as your cysts, because if you leave it over a period of time, like what happened to me, then the tube will no longer be functional and you'll be in the same predicament that I'm in right now, which I don't have the answers for. So I don't know if my other tube is affected. I don't know if it's blood or if it's fluid. All I do know for certain is that that tube is no longer functional for me. And I say this because I believe it could have been avoided, right? So keep that in mind. Keep an eye out if you see it on your MRI, because we rely on our doctors, innit? Like, we rely on them to tell us what does the MRI say, because I'm just looking at a bunch of pictures and a bunch of words that I have no clue about, right? So that was my fault, you know. I guess not fault, because I mean, how would I have known? But hopefully if I can help one of you, look out for it. Look out for it. And if you see it, know that it's a red flag and it's something that takes priority as much as your cysts. So guys, pray for your girl. Pray for me. It's been a rocky road. The thing with endometriosis is that it doesn't stop. Like, you don't get a break. And it took me a while. Like, I went through the emotions and that roller coaster of doubt. Am I gonna have children? Is this gonna work? Like, what's this gonna mean? Is my other tube affected? Is the other tube gonna just be non-functional anymore as well? And then, oh honey, like, so much. But I have great people around me that remind me of the power of God. So I'm putting my faith on it now. So I'm asking you guys to pray for your girl. Hopefully one day I get my son. Not hopefully, I will get my son, right? But until then, I'm hoping you guys look out for those keywords. So Hydrosalpinx and Metronidazole. Look out for that. And that is it from me until next time. So like I said, it won't be an endo page anymore, although I will give you updates on what's going on with me. But it won't be an endo page. But just stay tuned. Come on, stay tuned. Like, we're about to just hit the road hard, right? So yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening and reaching out to me and supporting and liking and subscribing and doing all of that great stuff. I genuinely from the bottom of my heart appreciate it. Yeah, I will get back to you guys on my journey, and I'm only meant to be on the Orilissa until September. So I don't know what's next, you know. And I'm actually becoming comfortable with not knowing. I'm not 100% comfortable yet because my Virgo brain is not comfortable with being out of control. But if I don't, I will go mad. So it's best that I just don't know. So I'll let you guys know when I know. Again, thank you. Have a great day, great night, whatever time you're watching this. Love you guys. Have a blessed day.